I think the time for mourning is over. I think the time now is to fight. Because I believe our Constitution means something, because I believe our republic means something, and because I believe freedom is worth fighting for. Do you believe that?
And that's why I want to talk with you tonight about state sovereignty. I really want to talk to you because I believe that it's the path back to restoring our constitutional republic.
Over the summer, I talked with various state legislators in the west of the United States, and we came up with a plan to reclaim state sovereignty and put the federal government back into its constitutional box.
It's going to include nullifying a national health care system at the state level. It's going to include nullifying a cap-and-trade system at the national level.
Washington was the third state in the United States to introduce a resolution reclaiming state sovereignty under the 10th Amendment, and I was the sponsor of HJM 4009 here in Washington.
We're going to set up a federal tax escrow account. All those taxes we collect for the federal government, they're going to go into that escrow account. The federal government, if you cut off for funding, we're going to take that balance out of that federal tax escrow account.
Washington was the first state to introduce Sheriff First legislation, which simply says that if a federal agent tries to come down and enforce some of these unconstitutional laws, that the sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer, not the federal government. We introduced the Washington Firearms Freedom Act that simply says that if the firearm is made in Washington, it's sold in Washington, and it stays in Washington, the federal government has absolutely no jurisdiction over that firearm.
And it is going to restore a sound money system by making the federal government tender payments to the state in gold and silver.
The problem is we're the final check and balance, and there really, I believe, are more of us than there are of them. They just are a lot louder than we are. I think we can introduce initiatives and get these things through. And the other reason is we don't have a lot of time. We have to exhaust all constitutional options now. Go visit your county sheriff. Go as a group. Sit down and talk to him. Ask him if he'll be an oath keeper. Make him take a position on Obama's proposals. Ask him the hard question. Sheriff, if federal agents come down to enforce this nationalized health care system, and they want to arrest citizens in this county and they want to fine them in this county, where are you going to stand? What are you going to do?
Will you fight for the Constitution?
Yeah! Will you fight for limited government?
Yeah!
Will you fight for lower taxes?
Oh, yeah!
And will you fight for the right to bear arms?
Yeah! And I ask each one of you now, will you join me in this last great fight for freedom?